Welcome back. We're here in our Smartsheet Intermediate. Now, this is where we begin to diverge a little bit from intermediate to a little bit more advanced. For those folks in the C-suite, because I've had conversations with COOs and they're always asking, how can I automate stuff? How can I make Smartsheet do automated workflows, deadline notifications, approval requests, time-based workflows, multi-step workflows, recurring workflows? They just want to make life more easy for themselves. So Ashley, what would you tell them and where would you start this whole conversation?
I would definitely start a conversation with these CEOs and CFOs and COOs and tell them Smartsheet's perfect for automation. Okay. It is almost limitless when it comes to the ability to get things done automatically. Smartsheet was built to end redundancy.
Mm,
Okay, and redundant tasks and data entry and having to go through files, and it was built to stop that. And so with automated alerts that alert you when a date is approaching or a date has passed or a task is overdue, integrating with Slack or Microsoft Teams and being able to get these alerts in your Slack and in your Microsoft Teams, being able to send update requests to your clients saying, I need an update on this task or I need an update on this license, and they're able to attach that file and send it back to you and it automatically updates in Smartsheet. How do you get better than that?
mm.
I mean, proofing. I've got so many clients now that are using proofing for their design businesses. You're talking graphic design where they're able to submit the first, proof, and the person can say, edit it in Smartsheet and say, this needs to be changed, this needs to be changed, and then re-upload it and change the status automatically. In forms, you've got it where it can auto date and change cell value based on another cell's value.
Mm.
So if you get something from somebody that's like, urgent and they need it updated in the cell, they can change it so that it has an exclamation point in the status cell, using symbols. I mean, it's almost limitless on what you can do using Smartsheet automation, and it will make life so much easier.
Mm.
And you can automate the sending of reports too, which is fantastic. I know we went over that briefly in our
Right.
reports video, but I mean, for PMs and people who have weekly lists of tasks that need to get done, it's the premier way to get those lists to people. All of my clients have team reports that go out every Monday at some point in time during the day. And it's
Mm.
just a list of their reported tasks for their, position and when it's going to needs to be done, and it just makes life so much less complicated and, right in front of you.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a very compelling case for it. Is there anything we could show our friends, kind of give them a little idea about how things could flow or work, or just a few instances? Not going too deep.
Yeah, I definitely can show some of the options you get when you automate. Let's go ahead and do that.
So,
So in our sheet that we have here, we have the automation tab,
mm,
and these are all your abilities. These are templates
okay.
for workflow. So Smartsheet offers you the ability to not have to create your own template from scratch, which
Mm,
sometimes can be complicated.
mhm.
But I mean, when a specific criteria is met, so say you have an archive sheet and there's a task that comes in and it's marked completed. On that criteria, it can automatically move it to the archive sheet so that you're no longer looking at data that you don't need in front of you, making your business flow much more smoothly because you're not backdating data. Request an update every single week, and these are just templates. I mean, you can do anything, reminders to people to get their tasks done, reminders when things go behind. So I'm going to click create from scratch. And I'm just going to show you the actions that we can do. So these are basic, but alerting someone when a task is either behind or coming up, that's, really important for business. And then we have alerting a Microsoft Teams channel. I know a lot of people have Microsoft Teams. It's perfect. If you live in your Teams, you've got to open all day, a date is coming up or a task has gone behind, it'll alert you right in your Teams.
Nice.
Same thing with Slack. I actually have mine linked to my Slack. And whenever a date is coming up, it tells me in my Slack, this is going to be due soon. Another great part about it is, if somebody sends you an update request in Slack, you can answer the update request from Slack, which is pretty cool. SmartSheet has the ability to generate documents. If you have a PDF, you can map that PDF and use Document Builder. And whenever a new submission comes into an intake sheet or whatever, it can generate POs. I used to generate hundreds of POs a day using SmartSheet and Document Builder together. They would, submit their requirements for the PO. It would automatically generate it, attach it to the row. And then once there was an attachment, it would send it automatically for signature to the client. Imagine how much easier your life could be. Requesting updates. These are forms that you send to clients or staff or anybody that needs it, that allows you to fill out a form saying, yes, this is complete. No, it's not complete. This is when it will be complete. Leave a comment, attach a document, and it updates it all in your sheet.
Wow.
In real time. So, requesting approvals, this and proofs go together really well. If you have a proof that's coming in and it's finally on proof 5, and you want an approval, you can request that when it reaches proof 5, it goes for approval, and they can either decide to approve it. And the best part about is if they don't approve it, you can choose what action takes if it's approved and what action it takes if it's not. So you can have it change the cell value or, whatever.
Wow.
When new tasks come in, we use this at my firm that I work at now. When new tasks come in, depending on the client that submits them, it assigns it to a certain person on the team. So that's really, really beneficial. Changing a cell value, that's when a criteria is met, it changes the cell value in whatever row or column you're looking for. We've had this happen a lot where it auto changes the date or records a new date. You can do that here, where when a new submission is entered, it automatically records a date.
Nice.
So, you can have, there's so much potential. You can lock and unlock rows. Like I said, you can move. You can also copy rows. I had a gentleman that did all of his credit card receipts for his company, and he used SmartSheet, and we would input them. And then depending on the employee, it went to another sheet, but it always copied the row from the main sheet and sent it to their personal sheet. So, and that's just based on criteria. Say, Sean from company A submitted his credit card receipt. It would go to the master sheet, and then it would copy it to Sean from company A's sheet. So,
Wow.
There's so much potential for amazement here.
Wow. Sky's the limit.
It really is.
Truly amazing. Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so much for walking us through this, Ashley. For those of you watching, if you've got any specific questions about automated workflows, we would love to answer those for you. All you need to do is put a comment in the box below. And we have really gone quite deep in this learning in the intermediate level. You've got so many videos now, folks, that you can watch about all of the different views and all the different capabilities. And this has brought us to the end of the SmartSheet Intermediate. From me, Phil, it's bye, and from our friend Ashley,